Hello everyone. Let's do some puzzles today. So today I have three 3D printed 3D packer puzzles. All of which are of the 3x3x3 types. I need to pack them with certain conditions to fulfill. Most of the times there are only up to two conditions to follow, one being whether or not rotation and movements are allowed. If the rotation and movements are not allowed, then you cannot use any piece rotations. You have to only move your pieces in orthogonal directions, by which what I mean is you can only move the pieces along the x, y, or z axis, no rotating. All right, that's one condition. Depending on the puzzles, they may or may not enforce that. And the second one is the it's called AC requirement. AC stands for apparent cuboid. So as you can see, these boxes, these containers, if you will, they have some windows, right? They have some windows through which you can see the pieces inside. And what AC requirement enforces, what it wants you to do is that once all the pieces are inside, it should look as if the 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 container is completely full. So when you look through the windows, when you look through the open windows of the boxes, uh, all of those windows must be blocked off by the voxels of those pieces. So no void spaces can be seen through the windows. Of course, if there's a wall, whatever is behind it, there are no rules for that. Whatever is behind the wall can be, there can be blocks, there can be no blocks. That is up to you. But when there's a window, whatever you can see through the window must be completely blocked. That's what AC requirement is for. So again, just like the rotational movements, puzzles may or may not enforce that rule. All right. So if the AC requirement is not there, that means all you need to care about is simply just pack the pieces inside the container. So like I said, I have three 3D packers here. I have no idea about their difficulty. Each of them can take like they may take 30 minutes, they may take hours, hopefully less than an hour. But you can't say anything for sure when it comes to puzzles like this. Even if two puzzles are of the similar difficulties, depending on what kind of approaches comes to your mind first, they may take much shorter or much longer time compared to the average amount of time spent solving. So you probably seen me doing this before, like me taking a very long time solving the puzzles and just blaming myself, blaming my stupidity, blaming my dumbness. Okay, I was having so much trouble because I'm stupid and dumb. You saw me doing that stuff all the time. It's a bad habit. I should stop doing that. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm smart. It's just that there's no benefit from doing that. So I'll try to not make those self-depreciating comments. I try not to make those comments, because they don't really help. But in either case, I have like 6 or 7 hours available for this stream, and hopefully I can solve all of these I without having any DNFs. So in the So in my puzzle box, there are dozens of puzzles that I have yet to try. So at one point I ran out of them. At one point I solved everything, but then I ordered a bunch more, and now I don't need to worry about running out of them for the next foreseeable future. Unless I go on a marathon just solving lots of puzzles all together. Like I'll try to pace myself, right? You don't want me to run out of contents, right? So anyway, so let's look at each of these puzzles. So this one is called the JB4A, and you see this cube-shaped marker here. This one indicates AC requirement. So like I said, AC requirement is for blocking up all of the open windows. And as you can see, it does not have the rotation icon here. That means rotational movements are prohibited. I am not allowed to make rotational movements. So there's that. And in the next one we have Footsy. This one has the rotational marker, but it does not have the cube-shaped marker. So for this one, rotational movements are permitted. I am allowed to make rotational movements. It does not mean a solution requires it, but it probably involves rotational movements. And basically just cramming everything in is all I need to care about, because there's a no AC requirement. And the last one we have Cottage. As you can also see the cube-shaped marker here. So this one has AC requirement, and also no rotational movements are allowed. Okay. Again, I have no idea of the difficulties. I don't know which one of these is the easiest, which one of these is the hardest. So I'm just going to solve from the left, middle, and right. So I'll just try to solve the JB4A first, and then I'll move on to Footsy, and lastly I'll try to solve Cottage. All right. And for each of these puzzles, I'll give myself 2 hours before declaring DNF and moving on. All right. So let's move these puzzles out of the way for now, and let's get started on the JB4A. Then I think I need to zoom in the camera a little. Give me a sec. Like about this amount. How about that? Yeah, about this amount. I think it looks good enough. Okay. And let's get the timer out. And before I start, let me just take the pieces out. There we go. Some pretty complicated looking shapes. All right. So this one is JB4A, AC requirements, no rotations allowed. All right. Give me a sec. I need to just arrange the pieces like this so that I can take a screenshot of it. All right. And let's get started. Well, also let's look at the container first. So what do we have here? So there are 2 large windows. So this entire edge needs to be occupied with the voxels, and the top layer needs to have these 2x2 area occupied as well. So the top layer in total needs to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voxels occupying the thing, and the second layer we don't care about the other parts, but this one part needs to be occupied, and the same goes for the bottom layer. And when it comes to let me look at the largest piece first. I think I need to I need to assign names for each of these pieces. I'll call this the large piece, and I'll call this the S piece, and I'll call this the small piece. Well, small, medium, large. How about that? Large piece, medium piece, small piece. So the large piece, to remind you guys, rotational movements are not allowed. So if I were to if I were to if I were to put the pieces in, they need to only move in one of the three axes, move along one of the three axes, no rotations. So for the large piece, I think I need to make sure that the orientation allows me to actually put the things in. So I'm going to, for now, forget about the two other pieces, and I'll try to see which of these angles let me put this large piece in. Okay. So first of all, this long window can be used, but this seems to be the only angle that's allowed, and this angle. So there are two angles that I can use to put the piece through this window. And what about through this window? This angle cannot be used, and same goes for this. I can't put the pieces in like this. This angle is allowed. This is not allowed. All right. There are many different possibilities to consider. Actually, it's probably going to be pretty tricky. This one I don't really need to worry about the angles. Most of the angles I'm probably allowed to put it in. What about the middle piece? I think similar goes for the middle piece. I think pretty much most of the angles I can use. All right, so that is it for the angles. And now let's try to construct a shape that can potentially fit inside. So the first condition, of course, these pieces need to form a shape that is enclosed within the 3x3x3 dimension. And once that dimension issue is resolved, and the next thing we need to make sure is these windows are all blocked, because this puzzle has AC requirements, apparent cuboid requirements. And once I come up with a shape that fulfills the dimension and also fulfills the AC requirements, then I'll try to assume the shape is already inside and try to pull each of the pieces out. And if I can indeed pull all of the pieces out of the imaginary container, that means all I need to do from then on is just reverse that sequence, and then the puzzle is solved. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, so consider this shape. The top layer has these four blocks blocking up the top window, and also there are three blocks occupying this edge. These will block up the side window for this container. So what that means is, if I can theoretically put this entire shape into the container, then the puzzle is solved. Now the question is this the correct shape? I have no idea. So I'll just assume that it is already inside, and I'll try to pull out each of the pieces, right? So what kind of movements can I make? Hmm. Okay. You know what? I think this shape is not it because I don't really see any movements that can be made with this restriction. The all of the movements are currently blocked for all of the pieces, so I don't think this one is going to work. So let's look for something else then, some other shape that can potentially work. Before I move on, I gotta make sure that my judgment is correct because it is likely that I will not come back to this shape once I deem this shape as a dead end. Alright, fair enough. Okay, let's come up with something else. Thanks to the large shape, there do not seem to be many possible combinations. That's both good and bad. It is good because the search space is smaller. It's bad because actually coming up a shape by itself is going to be tricky. Hmm. Oops. We already tried that shape. I still don't see it. Still do not see. Still do not see it. I seem to only converge back into the very first shape that I came up with, which turned out to be not the right solution, not the right shape. Maybe I haven't tried other angles. Maybe that is the problem. Okay, this is the shape that has the correct dimension, but violates the AC requirement. I cannot use it, therefore. Yeah, if that is not the case, then what other options do I have? Oh, okay, alright. I found a new shape. This new shape does satisfy the AC requirement. Let's see if I can pull the pieces out from the container if I imagine the container around it. Okay, can I make any movements from this position? Oops. Okay, this movement is blocked because of this block right here collides with the ceiling, so I cannot move this upward like this. Can I pull this piece anywhere? No, because, well, it can potentially move downwards, but the downward movement is blocked by the other pieces. That is tricky. This is probably not the correct shape. Then I need to come up with a different one in that case. What other shapes can I make? Okay, that's an odd shape. So this one is kind of special in that the large piece is in the middle. So the large piece doesn't have to be on the lowest side. It can be sandwiched between the small and the medium pieces too. But unfortunately, this one does, well, it does satisfy the AC requirement. In fact, this is the exact same shape that I just tried before, and confirmed to be not the correct one, So let me try to come up with something else then. Okay, that's a new one. Yeah, that's a new one. AC requirement holds. So let me try with this shape then. can I pull all the pieces out from this? So the large piece, I don't think I can move the large piece at all. Can I move the small pieces? I think all of the movements are blocked for the small piece. I think all of the movements are blocked for the medium piece too. Okay, that's a shame. Another wrong shape. But I keep finding a new one, right? So I just need to keep up with that. Another potentially viable shape. How about this one? Okay, so for this shape, I can actually make the first movement. I can pull the large piece out by 1 unit. This is a movement that I can make thanks to the side window. And then further movements are blocked thanks to this block right here colliding with this middle wall. So after this, can I make anything else move? Actually, you know what? Once I move this piece towards me by 1 unit, I can actually move it another time by pushing it downwards. This movement is allowed thanks to the bottom window. So that's another movement that can be done. But does this help me in any shape or form? I don't think I can pull the large piece out any further. I don't think. The medium piece cannot move anywhere. The small piece is also blocked. Alright. Maybe this shape is also not the correct one then. But that's currently the most number of movements that I could make out of a shape. Okay, maybe if I can rotate it in some other way. How about this shape? This is a different orientation, but this may or may not work. So let's see if I can make anything happen. No, all of the movements are completely blocked. I don't think this one is correct. All right then. Anything else I can do? Any other orientations I missed out of? Well, I can. Okay, there are many different ways I can place this small piece then. So maybe I can try this one and see what happens. Okay, this one is a little different because once I pull out the large piece like this, and I can actually move the middle piece upward. This is now allowed, but that's pretty much about it. Yeah, all the other movements are blocked after at this point. There's nothing much I can do from this on this point. All right. How about this? How about this one then? Okay, this one cannot. This one is not good because the AC requirement is now violated. Like this space at the top layer needs to be occupied. Okay. Okay, this one is kind of odd because I have to move the entire shape to the other angle, but this one technically does satisfy the AC requirement. And okay, let's see if I can make any movements happen. Okay, so the small piece can be pulled out by one unit, so this movement is allowed. Can I do anything else? Well, yes, I can. In fact, I can just pull the entire piece out. Okay, that was simple, but can I do anything else with these remaining pieces? Unfortunately, I don't think I can make any of the remaining pieces to budge at all. They are not going to move. Okay. So unfortunately, this is not going to be the correct solution. But usually when you can pull out the first piece too easily, that's most likely not the solution, because in many of the non-trivial 3D packers, you have to well, most of the cases you need to make some sliding movements with the other two pieces before making room for the third piece to get in. So that's one way to rule out any of the wrong answers. Okay, so this one does not work. And this one does not work either, I don't think. Oh, cool, nice lineup. Hey Andy, welcome to the stream. Can you like tell me the designers for each of the puzzles so that I can mention them in the title and the description? Okay, this one also works. So with this orientation, I can push the small piece down by one, and then what? JB Osanori, I see. Footsy, maybe Osanori. It is a AC plus rod. Okay. Um, but on the surface, it does not specify the AC requirement. So I was thinking I just need to just put all the pieces in. But thank you for clarifying. I see. So all of them are Osanori. I hope they are okay with me using the 3D printed ones. I can make some movements, but all of the movements then get completely blocked. So I've been going through multiple shape candidates, but they have been not correct. Okay, so from this shape, I can pull out the large piece by one, and then push it down by one again. And in this position, the small piece can be lifted up by one. That is allowed. And then the middle piece can be pulled out to the right side. That is an allowed movement. And then what? I can actually yeah, I can I think I can actually push the large piece back in. I think I can do that. No, I cannot. No, I cannot. All I did was pull it out by one by going downwards. I think. Okay, this is getting confusing. Let me try again. So pull it towards me by one and then down. Okay, I see. All right. Okay, and here I can indeed push the large piece back in. But does that help me in any way? Does not seem to be. Like this shape is this shape is very convincing, by the way. Currently, it let me make the highest number of movements so far. That does not mean it's a solution, but it's very likely. Well, at least it's the most likely shape so far. But my movements are blocked from then on, so I don't know. Maybe I can try some different shapes then. Okay, okay. So there's one thing that I was not able to see. Once you pull out the large piece by 1 unit, I can actually pull it down twice, not once. So that's a good info. Maybe they can allow me to make more movements. Let's see. So pull the large piece down and drop it by, okay. Before dropping it, the small piece gets lifted up by 1, and the medium piece gets pulled out to the right side. This allows the large piece to drop down 1 more. This allows the this does not allow anything actually. Actually, it does. So now the small piece can be moved to the left. It can even move away from me by 1 if I feel like there is a movement I need to make. So at this point, what movements can I do? So I can move the small piece left and up. Maybe then I can like lift the large piece back up by 1 unit. Maybe all the way back up. Let's see. Does this let me do anything? Yes, it does. The middle piece can move down. Down and up. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm getting very convinced that this shape is the correct one, simply due to the number of movements I could make. So after this, I could restore the large piece back in. At this point, the middle piece can be lifted twice. The small piece can be moved to the right side if I wanted it to. The large piece can move down by 1 after that movement. Now the middle piece can move around. The small piece can move. No, the small piece does not move actually. Well, the large piece can move. Can be pulled out by one and then moved down by another. Okay, it's getting hard to keep track. Okay. There's so many movements to keep track of. Maybe I should start taking notes of the movements actually. Maybe that's what I need to do. So that swaps places between the small and the large. I mean the small and the medium pieces. Okay, that pulls out the middle piece. If I can remember this particular shape, then I can do it. So place these two pieces like this inside the container, and then I just and start from here. Move it down by 1. Move the small piece back out. Well, let's just try. So large piece first, like this, and then add the small piece. This orientation. All right. Yes, like this. Okay. So from this point on, I put the middle piece, medium piece in, and slide towards me. Move the small piece to the right side. Pretty sure I can make that move. All right. And then yes. So the medium, pull the medium piece all the way up, and then here, this lets the small piece to move down and drop, move towards me and drop down. I think. Wait, no, it doesn't. Okay. What was the? Yeah. Okay. So that was the next move. Right. But that's. I see. Was this the movement? Okay, I'm getting confused. All right. So at some point, the small and the medium piece needs to swap places, but I forget where and when. Okay, you know what? Let me just reset and try to rehearse the movements again. So it has so the end result is this. Wait, that is not the end result. This one was, I think. Yes, this one was it. So in this state, God. So once I'm at this state, I need to pull it out by one, pull the small piece out by one. I push the middle piece out by one, and then I pull out the large piece all the way out and move the small piece up at this position. Yeah, and then restore the large piece back in. Push the middle piece back in. Drop down the small piece. Lift the large piece up again and then push, and then we are done. Okay, and right, so this is the starting position. Introduce the middle piece, down one, pull the small piece out to the right, push the large piece but in by one. Yes, I think I can make the movement. And drop everything down, push the small piece in, and then drop the middle piece down. Okay. And at this point, I pull the large piece, lift the small piece, push the middle piece, push down the large piece 1 and 2, move the small piece around, and then we are pretty much done, right? Yeah, all right, let's try again. Let's try again the actual movements. So the starting position must look like this. All right, this is the starting position. Introduce the middle piece. Alright, introduce the middle piece, pull the small piece to the right side. Restore the large piece. I'm supposed to drop down the middle piece at some point. Why am I not able to drop it down? Okay, hold on, let me try again. Sorry. I'm confused by the number of movements to make. Let me try again. Alright, so do this. Move it down. Pull the small piece out. Now I push the large piece and drop everything down. And at this position, I push the small piece back in and then drop down the medium piece, and then I pull the large piece out, lift the small piece, push the medium piece, and pull out the large piece as much as I can. Now I move the small piece around, restore the large piece, push the medium piece back in, drop the small piece back in, and restore the large piece back in. Alright. Yeah, I think I get it. Alright, let me try again. Alright, this is the starting position. Introduce the middle piece. And I pull it towards me, right, like this. I pull out the small piece to the right side, if it lets me, like this. And now I restore the large piece, drop the middle piece back in, drop the middle piece. Well, I can't do that yet. I need to move the small piece first, small piece to the left first. Now drop down the medium piece. So far so good. Now I pull the large piece out by one. Wait, before I do that, I need to pull out the medium piece all the way up first. No. That's the other way around. Okay, don't rush this. Don't rush this. I'm on the right track. Don't get lost. So pull out the large piece by one, and then lift the small piece up by one. Push the medium piece to the away from me side, and then pull out the large piece all the way towards me like this, and then move the small piece around the medium piece. Now I restore the large piece all the way back up. Now push the medium piece back in, drop the small piece back down, and then push the large piece back in, and then we are done. Puzzle solved. So that was JB4A solved in 59 minutes and 45 seconds. Nice, you're getting really good at 3D packers. Thank you. Am I getting really good at 3D packers? I don't know if my time is good. Like, I don't know the objective difficulty of this one, but it was pretty fun. The movements were pretty complicated. I was having trouble rehearsing that, but like I really should start taking notes. But I think maybe once I run into some more complex movements, I can't just execute from memory. But anyway, so that is that. Now let me reverse the movement, take all of the pieces out so that I can store it in the unsolved state. Okay. So where do we start? I think I start by pulling the large piece up. There is a way to get the small piece out first, by the way, really. Well, I don't know how to do that. Alright, all of the pieces are out now. Now let's put them back into the box and move on to the next puzzle. Okay, so I was about to move on to Footsy as the next puzzle. But it turns out there is an AC requirement and rotational movement is allowed. So I think this one is the hardest one, I assume. So I'll just save this one for the later, and I'll actually do the cottage next. Okay, cottage AC requirement, rotations are not allowed. That is the rules that I am seeing. Hold on, how am I meant to? There we go. All right. So first, take all of the pieces out. Just line them up properly so that I can take a screenshot later. So this one is cottage. There's an AC requirement. Rotations are not allowed. Let's get started. All right, let's look at the windows. Which of the spaces are meant to be occupied? So 2x2 area on the top layer, and there are no middle layer windows. So the middle layers can be anything, and the bottom layer there are 1, 2, and 3 spaces that need to be occupied. All right, and we have these shapes. Feel like all of them can be entered with most of their rotations. So I'll just skip the part where I restrict the rotational orientations for each piece. I'll just jump right into constructing a shape and see if they do work. So what I'm noticing here is there are none of these pieces have a 2x2 section. What that means is this portion needs to be occupied by multiple pieces, and the same applies to the bottom layer. These 3 will have to be occupied by multiple pieces because none of the pieces can occupy all 3 spaces all by its own. Actually, you know what? None of these pieces can even occupy two of the bottom layer windows. So each of these windows needs to be occupied by each of the pieces. So there's one piece here, one piece here, and one piece here. What that means is whatever piece that occupies this or this window will have to occupy the furthest away space, and there's only one piece that can do that, and that is this piece. By the way, I forgot to name these pieces. Let's assign a name for it so that I can properly explain movements for each of the pieces. So I will call this an F piece. This one is an F piece. This is a small piece, and this is the Z piece. F, Z, small. So Z piece will have to be either this side or actually that is the only side it can occupy. All right. So we know exactly where the Z piece has to go, and that is this position. This is the only location the Z piece can be. Now we only gotta solve the other two pieces. All right. And I think I know where which piece needs to occupy the other corner, because the small piece cannot occupy the corner, the bottom layer corner, and also top layer edge. That it can't happen with this shape specifically. And the F piece cannot occupy this area in the bottom layer and this area in the top layer at the same time. It simply doesn't work. So what that means is the middle piece should occupy here and the small piece should occupy here. And it seems this seems to be the only orientation where that works. Okay, so now it just comes down to the small piece. The only requirement for the small piece is to occupy this small corner at the bottom, and I imagine there can be many different combinations that can work. Maybe not. I can be wrong. That doesn't work. It has to work though. Hold on. Well, alternatively, this can also work. Yeah. That way, the 2x2 top layer is now occupied by all three pieces. Although this is not a requirement, but it seems that, well, I guess this is another rotation that can be done. Like, I would like to think this is the shape because it is pretty stable at this state. Whereas if I did this, then you can just drop down too easily or something. But either of the two cases can be a possibility. So let's try from this shape and see how far we can go. So the small piece can be pushed out this way thanks to this window at the bottom. And then the Z piece can be pushed this way, or it can be lifted up twice. That's also something you can do. Let's try lifting it first. Now the F piece can be pushed to the right. Actually, can it? No, it can't move like that. All right. Actually, you know what? I don't see any movements from this point on. All right. Okay. Let's try this shape then. So now the small piece can be pushed down and left. This allows the middle piece to go twice up. And this allows the small piece to be pushed back in, which allows the F piece to be lifted up once. I think, yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Well, and then what? Excuse me. It's kind of getting confusing, but I think I have a strong belief that I did find the correct shape. Now it's just a matter of figuring out the movements. so in this position, the F piece can be pushed up once, I think. Yes, it can. And it can also be pushed to the right. It cannot be pushed to the right. The small piece blocks that movement. Is there a way to make that happen? But it can be pulled out all the way. Well, that allows the small piece to be pulled out completely. So let's try it. Let's try it again. So small piece to the small piece, push the small piece down and left. Lift the Z piece all the way. Push the small piece to the right, back by one. Now lift the F piece all the way, and then take the small piece out. Wait, actually, can I do that? Wait a second. I just noticed this particular window is not completely open. It's only triangular. I cannot actually push the boxes out of it. So never mind all that. So those movements are not. I can't move. I can't make any of those movements. So never mind all that. But all right, let's start over. But the Z piece can move this way thanks to this window right here. So that allows the F piece to be lifted all the way, or just once. Whichever case helps is whichever case it helps. So I can either lift this all the way, or just move it up one unit and to the right. So one of those two movements, but I don't know which one is the correct one. What if I lift it all the way? Does that help me in any way? Well, if I did this, then I can push the Z piece back in. So that's something I can do. But and then what? And then actually I can push the Z piece one more, thanks to this top window. Yeah, this lets me move the small piece to the right like this. And this lets me move the F piece down by one. Yeah, towards me by one. And does this let me pull out the Z piece all the way? No, but I can lift it by one. Not sure if that helps me, but that's something I can do. Alternatively, I could also move the zip piece to the left side by 1 unit. I can even lift it by 1 if that's to be desired. But that's pretty much, actually I was about to say that's pretty much the only thing I can do, but well, you know what, actually there's no but. That's pretty much the only thing I can do. Alright, so let's recap and see if I can remember everything up to this. Up to that point that I got to previously. So move the zip piece down by 1 and then lift the F piece all the way. Now push the zip piece back in and push it one more time. Now push the small piece to the right, pull the F piece by 1, push the F piece to the left by 1, and then what? It's hard to keep track. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Let me try this shape instead because there's a movement that I didn't try before. So what that is I can lift the small piece up and then pull the Z piece out by one. So this is something that I haven't tried before. And let's see if I can move on from this point. So once I do this, I can oops. So once I do this, I can lift the F piece up and to the right. And can I make any more movements than that? No, I don't think so. I can lift it all the way though. So I can lift the F piece by 2 units. So it's like right here. This lets me push the F piece back in and further. All right. Then I can just move the small piece here. And then I guess I can move the F piece down by 1. Hold on. Then I move the F piece to the left and up. This lets me push the small piece all the way in. Well, by all the way I mean by just 1 unit. That's the only thing I can do. This lets me move the F piece 1 unit to the right. Oops. This feels like a dead end. Okay. Let me revert a couple movements. So in here, yeah, once I am at this state, I don't see any other movements I can make. I can't lift the Z piece because the F piece is blocking it. I can't pull the F piece out this way. Actually, can I do that? Actually, I can pull the Z piece out one more time. Yeah. You know what? I can make that movement. All right. So now what? Mm, after this, I guess I can push the Z piece back in, and this allows the, well, I was about to say this allows the small piece to be pushed to the left side, but that's actually not true. I cannot do that. Mm, but I can lift the Z piece and then push in, and that allows the small piece to be pushed inwards. Yeah. All right. Now the F piece is free. And I guess the rest of the movements is trivial, right? But but let's continue just to make sure that I am not stuck with these two pieces forever. Okay. Once I am at here, I can just pull out the Z piece like that. All right. All right. Now I have all the movements. Now I know which shapes to make. We are almost there. I just need to make sure that I understand all of the movements that I just made. I just need to do all of that in reverse. All right. Let's rehearse again. Alright, I just did it again. Alright, I just reversed the movements. I just need to do the exact same thing, but with this container. I just rehearsed it to make sure that I remember all of the movements. So so I lift the small piece, pull the Z piece, lift the F piece all the way. Now push the Z piece back in. Now I move the small piece to the right. Pull the F piece down, and then I move the Z piece to the left and up. This allows me to push the small piece away from me, like this, and then I can push the F piece all the way out to the right side. Then I can pull the Z piece back in and up, or up and in, like either way. I move it by one diagonal. Then I push the small piece to the left, and then that frees the F piece. And now I move the small piece to the right, drop it down, drop the Z piece down and up. Now I move the small piece all the way, like this. Then I can drop the Z piece, swap the two pieces around, and now I can take out the Z piece as well. Right. Alright, let's see if I can do it. So first of all, first things first, I put the small piece in this way. Now I put the Z piece in, and let's see if I can remember all the movements. Alright, there you go. This is the setup that I needed to make to fit the third piece in, the F piece. Alright, so do it like this and then push it towards me, and let's get started. So pull the small piece to the right side. I'm sure I can make that happen. Alright, do this, and then I move the Z piece that way. Now push the F piece back in all the way. Now move the small piece to my side. That lets me drop the Z piece, and to the right. Now I push the F piece away from me, and then I push the small piece to the left side, and then Z piece towards me by 2 units, I think. Or was it like, yeah, I needed to lift the small piece first. Now, and then I pull the Z piece towards me. Now I drop the F piece all the way, and then restore the Z piece, and now I can drop the small piece, and the puzzle is solved. So that was Cottage done in 47 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright, now let's reverse all of that so that I can store the puzzle in an unsolved state. So the first step was I lift the small piece. That's the first step, right? Now I pull the Z piece, and then I can lift the F piece and to the right side, alright? Or was it like all the way up? Yeah, I think this was the one. This was the one. All right. Now push the Z piece all the way outward. Move the small piece this way and drop down. Now I can move the F piece towards me. Push the Z piece and lift, and push the small piece away from me. Push the F piece to the right side all the way. Now drop the Z piece and towards me, and keep it lifted. Now push the small piece to the left and free the F piece out. Alright, there you go. All disassembled. Okay, very good. So far, no DNFs, and I wasn't stuck too hard on any of the puzzles so far. So they've been taking close to an hour, but that was just me having a little bit of trouble rehearsing the movements. But when it comes to figuring out the correct shapes and figuring out the correct backward steps, I think I've been on a good enough pace. So now let's move on to the final puzzle of the day, right? So this one is called Footsy, and it has an AC requirement, and also rotational movements are allowed, even though there's no markings of the AC requirement. So let's just let's just take Andy's words as they are. So let's try to satisfy the AC requirement as well. So these are the three pieces. And looking at these pieces, probably the small pieces where the rotational movement is happening upon. I could be wrong though, but I highly suspect that this is the piece that gets rotated in the middle of the movements. But anyway, let's start the timer now. So like all the other puzzles, the first step is always the same. First, let me just inspect the container first. So there's a 2x2 voxel needs to be on the top layer and also bottom layer. If I were to satisfy the AC requirement, that is. And probably all of these pieces can fit in from any of the rotational orientations. So I'm not going to try to restrict those, and I'll just try to construct a shape. Well, it's not very hard to come up with a potential candidate due to the fact that there are not many voxels in the play. As you can see, this shape does get contained within the 3x3x3 dimension, but look at how many void spaces you can see, right? So there is just very large amount of void spaces in play. So actually coming up with a candidate is seems to be pretty easy, but that means we have a lot of numbers of shapes to test, and all but one of these should be the one that's correct. So let's see if this one can work. So assume that this shape is already inside this container, and let's see if I can pull any of the pieces out. Yeah, I can lift this piece. Well, you know what? Before we continue, let's name each piece. So this one is now called a U piece. This one is called U piece. This is a small piece, and this is a Z piece. Okay, or rather, I can just call it large piece, medium piece, and small piece. So we lift up the medium piece. I can do it twice actually. This lets me push the small piece away from me. And then what? Can I make any more movement from here? Yes, I can make more movements. I can push the medium piece out. Oops. And I can move the medium piece around like this. Yeah, that is a movement I can do. Now I can move the small piece back out, back in. I think I'll just call it in. In means towards me, and out means away from me. All right. So push out, pull in. So pull the small piece back in, and I can push the small piece to the right side if I wanted to. Let's just do that, just because. Now I can push the medium piece to the left side. I can drop it down if I wanted to. So if I didn't drop it down, I can actually lift the large piece up by one. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it though. I don't see any more movements from this point on. I can push the small piece down though, and make it stick out of the bottom window. That's something I can do. And I can push the large piece and small piece together like this, and this lets me pull the small piece out from the bottom. Okay, I guess the rest is easy then. Well, I haven't made any rotational movements yet. Wait, what? This feels too easy. Did I miss a piece? Like, is this supposed? Am I supposed to have one more piece in here? That this feels too easy. Yeah. Mm, I feel like I am missing a piece because I just solved it without making rotation movements. Like I feel like there's supposed to be the fourth piece here, but I don't know if I missed any. Like there were only three pieces in the box, so maybe this is the correct number of pieces. You know what? Maybe some of the movements I made are not actually doable in in this container. So let me try again and make sure that all of the movements are valid. So in here, can I make this movement? I think I can. Yes. Okay, maybe this is where I need to make a rotational movement. Because I don't see any other way of separating these two pieces. But what kind of rotations I can make? Okay, maybe this is the rotational movement. So I insert the large piece from the bottom in, and then I just rotate them in like this. Let's see if I can make that rotation first. So here, so I put the medium piece right here, and then I insert the large piece from the bottom, and then I just rotate them or something. I don't see it just yet. Maybe I lift up, maybe lift them up by one more, and then do this rotation. Can this actually happen? Like I don't see why not. Alright, so it's right here. Now can I rotate them? I really feel like it should be doable. Shape rotators unite. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm just learning how I can rotate pieces in a restricted space. There's some geometry going on. Okay, let's try some other ways. I really can't help but think it should be doable though. I really think it should be doable. Okay, maybe not. Alright. Geometry in my 3D space unthinkable. Yeah, well, it's how it is. Is the goal to get them in one side and out the other? No, the goal is to put all three pieces inside this container, and all of the windows should be completely blocked up. So once I solve it, it should look as if I put a 3x3x3 cube inside. Maybe it's the camera, but the box looks slightly convex, probably to facilitate rotating pieces while they are inside. The box is not convex. It is all the walls are completely flat. yeah, I already tried this one. Mm. Okay, remember when I said this one seems too easy and needs one more piece or something? Yeah, I completely misunderstood this puzzle. It is not an easy puzzle. Okay. Pieces don't really want to rotate around each other. Seems like a piece might need to go more than all the way through at first and then pull back up. Yeah, well, that is a given. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to assume that this shape is already inside, and I'm trying to pull them out of the box so that in the actual solve I can reverse that step and put everything back in. I don't know if this is royalty free or whatever, but I'm digging the music. Yeah, it is supposed to. I mean, it is not royalty free, but it is supposed to be, not what is it like a. It's one of those songs that are not supposed to demonetize the stream, but sometimes that doesn't really work, and I have to contact the people who provide these musics. But takes a while, but eventually they get rid of all the copyright strikes. It's not a strike, copyright claims. But yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Okay, yeah. Looks like the rotation does work. So this is the rotation that I needed to do. I had to give this the slightest bit of pressure, but I wouldn't count this as a force. This is a pretty gentle rotation if I may call it myself. All right, so once I am at this state, all right, once I am at this state, I need to move these two pieces around to swap the locations. So I need the two pieces to be in this exact shape. And now at this point I insert the small piece from the bottom in this orientation, and then I move it to the right. And put it here. And then what was it? I need to make sure. And I think I had to move them here. Or something. So this is the shape that I want to formulate inside the box. I start by lifting the medium piece up. And then all of the pieces up, and then pushing the large piece to the outward. And then I move it here, and then drop it down. And one more, because there's a bottom window. Yeah, so at this point I'm just rehearsing the movements so that I don't get lost while I'm solving it for real. Okay. Let's solve this for real this time. Alright, this is the state that I wanted it to be. Now I insert the small piece from the bottom into the right. Well, it's hard to remember what I'm supposed to do when most of the shape is invisible. Ah, there we go. Okay. Now I need to lift the small piece up, I think. I think that's what I need to do. Or that also works. I feel like I need to like undo everything and rehearse the movements again, because I think I'm pretty sure I forgot what to do. Alright, you know what? Let's take all the pieces out again and make sure that I remembered all the movements correctly. Alright. So this is supposed to be the end result. Okay, so I need to like move the medium piece up like this, and then transfer the small piece up here, And now I pull the large piece in and drop everything, and then that should be it. All right, let's try again. There we go. Solved. That is Footsy. Done in 45 minutes and 38 seconds. So that took longer than what I expected it to take, because I thought this is on the easier side. But yeah. Okay, now let's reverse the steps. So that I can store the puzzle in the unsolved state, okay? That's a small piece out, and now I just swap the pieces around and do the rotation and pull the second piece out and third piece out. Yeah, simple. Okay. All right, so that's all 3 puzzles done. So I solved the what was this one? So I solved the JB4A first, and then Cottage next, and finally the Footsy. So no DNFs. Overall, good enough time. None of the puzzles took more than an hour. So mostly took around like 40 to 50 minutes, which is an alright time. I wouldn't feel embarrassed about it. It's like an average, about average. But I'm just happy that none of the puzzles ended up with a DNF. So I think that's about it for today. I think now is a good time to wrap it up. So thank you everyone for visiting and watching. I think next puzzle stream I'll be streaming the puzzles I got from Nothing Yet Design. But tomorrow I will be streaming PMS, so if I were to stream puzzles, it's going to be the day after. So alright, have a good rest of the day everyone. I think I'm going to go to bed. So alright, cheers. See you next time.